A legacy is not over. Whatever I have to do for the legacy, that still includes my entire family, is still not over. My son is looking. My daughter's looking. My lady is looking. Everybody's looking.
Kelvin fashion, he didn't keep his word on that. He'd rather spend that money on his side chick. Bought her a Ferrari as a push present, but that car, according to the Daily Mail, got repossessed the day after Wendy announced the divorce. You know you can't afford those type of toys, Kev.
Karma didn't even pause to take a breath when it came for Kevin Hunter, because just when we thought his $250 million lawsuit getting tossed out was rock bottom, things took an even darker turn. He's drowning in debt now, and loan sharks are actively hunting him down. But the real question is, where did Kevin disappear to? We already know Sharina ditched him and hauled her broke self back to her mother's house. Kevin really built his whole future on the fantasy that Wendy would be an endless fountain of cash. And now he's out here hiding in the shadows. Because with Wendy finally washing her hands of him for good, the man has nowhere left to run. Those loan sharks aren't waiting politely for repayment. And in this mess, you just know Wendy is somewhere laughing her heart out.
Don't recommend that you work with your husband, because I made him my manager, and then when I decided to divorce him, he had to be fired. In other words, I made him divorced and unemployed all in one.
Ever since the Wendy Williams show was placed under guardianship in 2023, Kevin has been wailing about how broke he is, how he can't keep up with bills, and how the lifestyle he once flaunted is slipping through his fingers. He even said, "I have fallen behind. On most of my bills, I'm behind on credit card payments because I have no money. Since the severance payments were suspended, my life has been greatly affected since the plaintiff stopped making payments under our settlement agreement." And let's be clear, it wasn't Wendy who stopped anything, it was her guardian who followed the fine print of their agreement, which stated that when the show ended, so did his payouts. Kevin still clung to hope, waiting for a miracle in court. But before he could blink, Wendy's guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, slapped him with a lawsuit demanding he return the $112,000 that had been paid out to him. When begging for alimony kept getting him slammed with rejection, Kevin tried another angle. He attempted to overturn their divorce by claiming Wendy hid $48 million from him, and the court promptly shut that down. Instead of getting a job, he launched a $250 million lawsuit against Wendy's guardians and court officials, pretending he was trying to save Wendy from a corrupt guardianship, insisting her assets were being mishandled, and demanding a new guardian plus a deep forensic dive into her finances.
Wendy Williams' husband has filed a $260 million lawsuit claiming that Wendy is being held against her will in an illegal guardianship, has caused all sorts of financial and emotional damage. Problem is, he's divorced from her, and she didn't like her much.
No, it was not a great divorce.
She didn't like him much.
And even though she's had to pay him out a whole lot of money over a lot of years, she doesn't want him a part of this. And you know this straight from the source.
Well, I know it straight from the source because before I talked to the source, meaning Wendy, it was just apparent to me. I mean, he's filing this as Kevin Hunter, her friend. I mean, when does a friend have standing to file a 200? She had no idea about this law.
But don't get it twisted. Not a single part of Kevin's crusade came from passion. He wasn't suddenly heartbroken for Wendy. He was hunting for whatever money he could squeeze out. Wendy saw straight through him and made it crystal clear she wanted him nowhere near her, especially not near her bank accounts. And once all this came to light, we finally understood why he was clawing after every dollar. Because he'd blown through all his savings funding Sharina's flop of a business, showering her with luxury cars and jewelry, and living off Wendy's money like it would never run dry. He had no backup plan, no job, nothing but delusion. When the money vanished, he kept living lavishly anyway, convinced he'd win his lawsuits. But reality hit hard. He had to sell his cars, sell his house, and Sharina dropped him the minute the money disappeared. On top of everything, he owed banks and some very shady lenders. UBS Bank came for him first, demanding repayment on a credit card he stopped paying once his alimony ended. They wanted no less than $176 plus legal fees. Then Flex Wealth showed up, demanding repayment on the loans he took out for luxury cars. Even his home wasn't safe, and he was forced to sell it because he couldn't handle the upkeep. He managed to get $1 million for it, but it didn't even begin to cover the mountain of debt he'd built. His UBS balance is still ballooning thanks to interest. And that's before we even talk about the underground lenders, the ones you absolutely do not want to owe, who fronted him money for legal fees. With almost every lawsuit lost, their interest is eating him alive. These people don't play, and if he doesn't pay up, his situation is about to get far worse. Now broke, jobless, and terrified, Kevin has wiped his Instagram clean and vanished from social media entirely. Insiders say he's thinking about filing for bankruptcy because that's the only lifeline he has left, and the internet is not giving him an ounce of grace. With people saying, "Let me tell you now, no goodwill, come to Kevin Hunter or his mistress for what they did to Wendy Williams." Kevin is responsible for a lot of this. Woman's decline, and no one can tell me different karma ain't finished with him yet, and it's gone. Come to Sharina too. Everyone doesn't get to see karma play out. For people who have done others wrong, this is most definitely not one of those moments. Well, you get what you put out every time, no sympathy here. But what do you think about all this? Sound off in the comments? And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you next time, baddies.